Oh, you would think that, almost 3 minutes would be enough time for me to do what I need to do, but clearly it's not. Anyway, I am here. Hey, 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 hey. How art thou? How is everyone? We are here. We are fabulous. I don't know why that song is in my head, but we are here. What is going on, people? What is going on? What's going on? Listen, I'm just gonna let y'all know. Now, I know this is not the politics of it all, but this is Run Your Mouth, and we're gonna talk a whole lot of things. But we do gotta talk some politics, as you can probably be aware. And hold on, y'all. Um, and please have something sweet to eat so that you can regulate your sugar. This is going to be our, uh, you know, snack for the day. We're regulating our sugar levels because we will be spiking. I ain't Diamond Pearl Gem, Sour Punch Bites, Tropical Blends, the go-to. We'll be regulating our sugar levels with this. I also went to the dollar store, got me some cheap dollar store vinegar and salt. Not salt and vinegar, but vinegar and salt. Because when it says vinegar and salt as opposed to salt and vinegar, that you get that extra punch in the back of your throat by the vinegar, which you want, as opposed to just the salt. I'm just telling you, trying to help the people. Always vinegar and salt, never salt and vinegar. Hey, China White. Hey, everybody. We are here. Listen. Listen, y'all. Before we get to our feature presentation of today, hey, Miss Sharon, speaking of feature presentations, I will be going, hey, Lamar Talley, I will be going, hey, Miss Sharon, hey, Lamar Talley, I will be going to go see Doctor Strange 2 this weekend. All about it, here for all of it. Trying to tell you what I know. I can't promise you that I'll be doing a review, but I'm going to be here to watch it. First, let me say, I saw some of these looks. It says Lamar Talley right there on the screen. What do you want from me? I was just reading the screen. Lamar, I love you down, but you got to take. I mean, if you did, I mean, oh, you got the 4D tickets? Okay, I'm so excited too. Did I get 4D? I think I did. I don't know, but I got good tickets to go see it on Saturday, and I'm not going to go see it Saturday night. I'm going to go see it Saturday during the day, right after Silly Saturday. I'm going down there, gonna make it a whole weekend excursion and going on down there and have a good time. I don't want to go at night when all you people will be there. Y'all gonna be loud and disruptive. I want to go during the day when there's less people there and I can focus in on what's going on and really enjoy my movie. God. Anyway, so I got a couple stories that will lead us in. Like we're gonna have a good time over here, like we always do. We're gonna do what we do and do all of the things that we do over here and have some fun and chuck it up and all of that good stuff. But I we do have to get to the serious stuff. That I will say that to the tail end. Um so before I get to my sugar spikes and I need my sugar, I'll go ahead and crack open my vinegar and salt because you always get the vinegar and salt. You know what? The goat is still Tom's. Now, if you from black neighborhoods and you grew up in a certain age, you know Tom's vinegar and salt. Because remember, before other people was doing vinegar and salt, Tom's was the only one who had vinegar and salt. Everybody else had salt and vinegar, and Tom's was vinegar and salt. I'm just telling you what I know. But this one got the extra vinegar, like Tom's, that make you go, that make you make the fish face, like, yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, okay. You going on Sunday night? Yes. Ain't nobody gonna be there. All right. So the Met Gala happened yesterday, and as usual, yeah, them times will lock your jaw up, baby. You will have TMJ or lockjaw for real. But I'm serious. Like it's so crazy. Like that was the original go-to. Okay, vinegar. You never heard of vinegar and salt? You never heard of Tom's? Girl, Miss Sharon, girl, you got to go get you some Tom's. Go find Tom's vinegar and salt. That's the original gangster. Because everybody else was doing salt and vinegar, and Tom said, "No, we are vinegar and salt." The original gangster. Hmm. Now I'm trying to remember because I remember they changed the bags. I remember they had a bag when I was a little boy. I don't remember what color the bag was, but then I remember they changed to that yellow bag. It was like a canary yellow bag that they changed to. I don't know if they, you know what? I know most people in the Southeast know about Tom's. They might not have had them out west. I don't know, but that's just like Utz chips, the UTZ Utz. We didn't have those I know in South Florida, we didn't have those until the 21st century. Like, I didn't see a bag of Utz chips in South Florida until we were in the 21st century. Like, not when I was a little, we didn't have it when I was a little boy. So I don't know if y'all may not have Toms out there. I don't know. I would check. Mm-hmm. But that Toms, hey, I like sour cream and onion too. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. So the Met Gala happened last night, and it was a train wreck like always. Like I feel like the Met Gala is like rich people's Halloween. Y'all got both us. See, I know the Southeast has Toms, and I know the closer you are to the Middle Eastern states, you're gonna have Utz because Utz is in that Utz always been in that area. But Utz just got down to South Florida. I want to say maybe about 15 years ago was the first time I saw it. hmm Maybe a little earlier, but I know it wasn't that much earlier. Like I feel like it's rich people's Halloween because these people with all of this money and well-to-do, um, access to, incredible designers or whatever, come out here looking the goddamn fool, looking a goddamn fool. Do you hear me? They be looking a goddamn mess. And I don't understand why nobody tells them that shit wasn't cute. You had all types of buffoonery going on. Like I saw um Nicki Minaj. She had on that thing, and I'm a hat guy. I wear hats every time I can, okay? But if you're a woman going to a gala or gala, whichever pronunciation you want to use, there's no such animal as you wearing a baseball cap. Like that shit was ugly. And then I don't know if those little spots or beads were painted all over her or if they were glued on her because they were all over her face, all over her titties, all over her shoulders and arms. This shit was ugly. Then you had one chick that said she had on a dress from like the 1800s or something that somebody famous wore or something. I don't remember. I think I'm supposed to remember, but I didn't really care. But it wasn't even the whole dress. It was just the frame of the dress. I think they call it bones of the dress, but the frame where, because somebody had to literally show you the side by side, the dress, the original dress, and then the I saw her outfit first and I didn't know what it was. Then this morning when I was looking at some people's commentaries, they had three pictures. They had the picture of the original dress. They had a picture of the original dress showing you where the frames would or the frame of the dress would be when the woman wears it. And then there was another picture with the girl wearing that part. Like this shit was stupid. If I have to put that much thought into thinking of what this is, or go and Google and figure out what the fuck you got going on, then you doing too much. Kim Kardashian skank allegedly wore Marilyn Monroe's actual dress that she wore before she died, and she said she lost 16 pounds in 3 weeks. Something about that don't sound safe, but I guess I just don't. Y'all know I'm not into fashion. I don't. Fashion is not my thing. I never professed to be, somebody who's a fashionista or anything. I don't know. But I just know it's rich people Halloween because they just be wanting to wear costumes and shit. Like the shit be ugly as hell. And I don't be understanding. I be like, girl, girl, girl. Anyway, so I'm gonna give you this story only because this is what we do here. If I mean, for those people watching, y'all know what we do here. We are about the house of debauchery here. So let me give y'all this story. Uh, so let me tell y'all what happened. You see how I'm holding it in because I'm just gonna read the headline for you. And I'm gonna let it sit there and then we can go from there. Here's the headline, dear God. Hold on, I need a drink before I read this headline. Hold your line, hold your line. Mm. All right. Man who lost penis has new one. Man who lost penis had new one that was built on arm 6 years ago, moved to his groin, and says, quote, I feel like a real man again. Try that again. Man who lost penis has new one that was built on his arm 6 years ago, moved to his groin, and says, quote, I feel like a real man again. Mm. What do y'all want me to do with that? I remember this story some years ago. I vividly remember this story. Well, he had it attached to his left arm, and I vividly remember it was attached to the left arm and not the right arm because he was right-handed and didn't want a dangling penis dangling off his left. I remember the story vividly. Let me read this for you. But now they done attached it back to his. I told y'all all I. Let me read this for y'all. After 6 years of having his penis on his arm, a British man has finally been able to put his pecker in its proper place. Malcolm MacDonald, who lost his penis due to a blood infection and had a new one built on his arm, said he feels, quote, like a real man again, end quote, in a new documentary detailing the journey to his artificial dick, per the New York Post. The publication reports that the mechanic had his penis moved from his left arm to his pubic area with a successful surgery. At the post, excuse me, as the New York Post shares, nerves and blood vessels were swapped from his arm to his new artificial penis, allowing him to establish blood supply as urologists and plastic surgeons ensured he'd have a working urethra. The surgery came 6 years after the phallus was designed, and the move came as a delay due to staff shortages, mix ups, and the pandemic. In the meantime, people have asked McDonald, quote, about it when they see me in the pub, and says it even popped out on occasion. It's even popped out on occasion once hitting a woman in the head. Wait a minute. You at the bar with this thing dangling off your left arm. How big was it? Is my question. And you say it popped out a couple times and it just hit some woman in the head. Like, are you purposely hitting people in the head with your penis? Like you reach over to grab a drink, and as you reach over and grab a drink, the penis all in a lady's face. Like, what is happening? What is happening? Oh, dear God. It was a 9 hour operation. The first thing I did was look down and I was like, oh my days, they got it this time. For those who may not be up to speed on McDonald's penile predicament, the father previously said he, quote, saw my penis go black, he, end quote, and dropped to the floor following an infection which prompted him to pick it up and put it in the bin. But unlike his former This is a whole mess. But unlike his former penis, McDonald's sex life has not been trashed. He has, as he calls the possibility of engaging in sex with a functioning member, a turning point in my life. He requested it be 6 inches in total, adding 2 inches to the model, saying surgeons were happy to listen to what I wanted it to be like, which was amazing. Wait a minute. So what he said is when they were modeling, gave him the model and told him what the artificial penis was gonna look like. They said, we're gonna give you a good 4 inches. And he was like, nah, boo, I need 6 inches. Well, if we're in the business of deciding on what sizes we want, why don't we just go for the gusto? Fuck 6, and I get a good 10. I mean, if I gotta have this thing dangling from my arm, might as well have go for the gusto. I'm just let me sip on my drink again. Oh, you're lying. I don't know what y'all want from me. Because in my area of the world, 6 inches ain't gonna do a whole lot for but he is white, by the way. He is not black, just let's be clear. Anyway, I don't need to go on. It is what it is. I, I don't. What do y'all want from me? The man had an infection, had to have his penis. Well, apparently it fell off or something because he said he threw it in the bin. So he obviously had an infection and threw his dick in the garbage. Went to the doctor. The doctor said, I imagine that it's something like when they have gender reconstructive surgery, like when you go female to male they have to build a penis for you know, women when they have gender reconstructive surgery. So I imagine it was kind of the same thing. But if I remember from the article, because I remember reading the article years ago when this happened, I think they were afraid to put it back in the area because of the infection involved, and they didn't want the new one to get reinfected. So he was like, just give me one on my arm. But my question then, and my question still is now, fuck whatever you got going on in the groin area now. Let's talk about the one that you got that you had dangling from your arm, sir. Like the whole process of begging somebody out uh, in the chat, in the chat, put a one in it, put a 27 in the chat if you are okay. You meet a dude and y'all get ready to, bang it out, and you notice the penis is on his left arm. Put a 27 in the chat if you're still willing to go through with having sex with him. Put a one in the chat if you are not. I'll wait. Oh, dear God. Mm. Hey, Anthony. I have no answers to your question, Anthony. I apologize. I have zero answers to your questions. I have no idea. Mm. Ooh, good. 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 Like, you gonna roll up to somebody and be like, get this arm. Now, having dealt with, quite a few male organs in my life, probably more than a bathroom urinal at a stadium, but that don't judge me, judge your mama, don't judge me. Anyway, I have been known, hey Doris, hey Miss Doris, I have been known to tell somebody that what they had dangling between their legs looked like an arm. But by no stretch of the imagination Hey, Dr. Soapy, do I imagine someone's penis hanging from their arm and them using said, what is happening? Because at the moment I see this shit flop down off your arm, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna still look, I'm gonna be like, but then I'm gonna go like that, and I'm gonna be like, just so I can see, I'm gonna go like that, like what is, I can't even keep a straight face and keep it together. What is happening? And he said he would go to bars and shit. Like, was he relegated to long sleeve shirts from here on out? Apparently not, because he say he hit some lady in the head with it. So when you, like I said, reaching for a drink, giving the man your credit card for your tab or whatever, and as in the moment of you doing it, that thing just dangles and hit the lady on the side of the head. Like, what is happening? Like, right, Diamond Pearl Jim, you got to let me know ahead of time. You got to let me know. Hey, by the way, but how does that conversation go? Y'all into the groove of things. She feeling you, you feeling her, or he feeling you, you feeling him. However you get down, I don't know how you get down, bro. However you get down, and y'all talking about yeah, and they actually, because eventually everybody always that. Well, how big is it? And they be like, well, I got about six, but I know what to do. I know how to work my six. Don't worry, I can work my six like no other. And maybe he or she is feeling you enough, and they'll be like, all right, let's go. And they'll be like, but I got to tell you something. What? What do you have to tell me? It's about my dick. What? Like, is it like something wrong? No, ain't nothing wrong with it. Everything good. Well, what? Um, it's on my arm. I know the first time somebody says that, yeah, my shit on my arm. I know they look at you look like, bitch, what? Wait, and then it becomes then it ain't even a point of you trying to have sex with them. The whole point, once you ask them 4,000 questions to clarify that you heard exactly what you think you heard, the first thing you go do is say, wait, let me see it. Because you can't quite believe it. You gotta be like, wait a minute, because I gotta verify and make sure that what you just told me is what is what is. So you be like, oh, oh, it is on your arm. Oh, you mean actually dangling from your oh oh well like but how does this work? Right. The whole date that turned into a science project got Diamond Pearl Jam. This is what y'all got going on in Great Britain. Like whose idea? Like whose idea was it? Oh yeah, we just gonna attach it to your arm. I mean, the forehead didn't want none of that. I mean, we just attaching it to random places. Why not on the forehead? Why not on the side of the cheek? Just have a random penis hanging off the side of your cheek. I'm just saying. Hey Anton, really be sit you here? Mm. We gonna get to what really be probably told you I was gonna talk about. I'm saving that to the end. Right now, we're talking about people's penises dangling from their left arm over in the Great Britain. If you need us, I'm sorry. Where's Evie? Evie, are you still in the chat? Because I need you to sing "How Did We Get Here." I have no idea how we got here. Well, let me quickly move on. I'm gonna quickly move on because I have no idea how we got here to talking about penises dangling off of people's arms. You said you just in time, Anton. I don't know what's happening. What is happening? Like, only on my channel. Let's be clear. Only on my channel do you come in one moment. You know, at some point in the channel, we're going to go very political and go very cerebral and heady and talk about all of the politics of the fact that Roe v. Wade is, is burning down to the ground. And in the same live, can we talk about the fact that a man had a 6-inch penis attached to his left arm because he was right-handed and said, I don't want it on my right hand. I just need it on my left hand because I'm right-handed. Not Hey, Nafisa's daughter. I apologize for those people coming in and have to hear me talk about someone's penis dangling from their arm. So I'm going to move on because I don't want to scare people away that really be has sent over here. Oh dear God. And thank you all who may be coming over. Next story. It is almost midweek, Diamond Pearl Jam, but you know how we do over here. We damn near running amok. Now, if this were Silly Saturday, we would need to have what we call a palate cleanser, where we would have a good thirst trap, and I would show y'all a thirst trap, and y'all could use that to clean. Do y'all still want a thirst trap to cleanse your palate? Do we need a? I could put up one of my. I haven't prepared any of them, any new ones, but I can put up a thirst trap to cleanse your palate right now if you want. I mean, put a 27 in the chat if you need a good a palate cleanser like we do on Silly Saturday, or can I just go to the next story? Let me know. Put a 27 in the chat if you need a palate cleanser, because I don't know where this is going to end. Only over here. Only Anthony. Anthony, do you see what we're dealing with, Anthony? Anthony. Seeing no 27s in the chat, I'm moving on to the next story. So in our next story, I'm going to read this headline. I'm good for reading a headline and then just letting y'all digest that for a few moments because that's what we got going on. So here's our next story. Here's the headline. Because we are going to get to the point where we have to break down this Roe v. Wade situation. It is coming. Please be clear. But I need to, we got to build till we get there. All right. So here's the headline. And of course, it is out of my great state of Florida. Of course. Because as much as I try to make people feel like Florida is not the worst part of America, people in my great state continue to do things that make it hard for me to make that argument. I'm going to read this. Dear God. Florida mother, charged after 3-year-old discovered sleeping on sidewalk while she was allegedly at the club. This drink is going fast. Let me read that again for the people in the back. Florida mother charged after 3-year-old discovered sleeping on sidewalk while she was allegedly at club. I'm gonna just let y'all digest that for a few moments before we delve into what's going on. What do y'all want me to do with that? Like, literally, I'm literally sitting here thinking, what do y'all want me to do with that? What do you want me to do with that? Like, what do you want me to do with that? God. Let me read this. Shyla Heidelberg, 25. And yes, she's this, not this, not this. She is this, not this. Just so you know. Shyla Heidelberg, 25, was allegedly at a local nightclub in Fort Walton Beach. Those of us from Florida, we just breathed a sigh of relief because I was like, please don't be from South Florida. Please don't be from South Florida. And some people, other people, like all y'all I-4 corridor people, Tampa, Orlando, Daytona area, Jacksonville, some of the bluer areas were praying to sweet 7 pound, 3 ounce baby Jesus. Please don't let her be from here. Please don't let her be from here. And she's not. She's from Fort Walton Beach, which is in the on the Florida Panhandle, but it's over there in the red area of the state. Okay, just saying. I know people in Fort Walton Beach though, not that far from Tallahassee. Maybe about how far is Fort Walton Beach? Probably an hour and a half, 2 hours from Tallahassee, somewhere around there. Anyway, if she was in St. Peter, but if it was MIA on Friday, a little Floridian probation, you know what? I'm not doing this with y'all. Let me go back. Shyla Heidelberg, 25, was allegedly at a local nightclub in Fort Walton Beach at the time. According to a news release, the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office, Heidelberg was arrested and charged with 3 counts of child neglect without bodily harm after police responded to a call at Gibson Street around 1 a.m. on Saturday morning. A security guard from the Choctaw Village Apartments excuse me, where Heidelberg and her child resides, discovered the sleeping toddler and led the authorities to Heidelberg's apartment, where 2 more young children were found asleep without supervision. Heidelberg was detained after she returned to the apartment and reportedly admitted to police she had, quote, gone out to a nightclub, end quote, 90 minutes before officers arrived on the premises. She was released from custody on Sunday, according to jail records obtained by the New York Post, and denied the allegations during a brief interview with the outlet. She said video footage from her Ring doorbell cameras prove she never left the children and that several people from the nightclub can vouch for her whereabouts. Wait, wait, wait. Let me read that again because none of this is making sense. People at the nightclub can vouch for your whereabouts, but you never left your children. We're trying to add this up. Oh, dear God. Let me read this again. Let me read this whole paragraph again because the elevator isn't going all the way up to the top here. You got 3 chips in a row thinking that you done made a connect 4, okay? That woman got 3 chips in a row thinking that she has made a connect 4. Let me read this again. Heidelberg was detained after she returned to the apartment and reportedly admitted to police she had gone out to a nightclub 90 minutes before officers arrived on the premises. She was released from custody on Sunday, according to jail records obtained by the New York Post, and denied the allegations during a brief interview with the outlet. She said video footage from her Ring doorbell camera proves she never left the children and that several people from the nightclub can vouch for her whereabouts. I'm gonna wait for y'all to tell me what I'm supposed to do with that. What do y'all want me to do with that? You never left your children or never left, but people at the nightclub can vouch for your whereabouts. But you admitted to police that you had went to the nightclub 90 minutes earlier. Quote, it wasn't true, end quote. She briefly told the Post over the phone. She went on to say, I have proof that I wasn't in the club. A couple people can state that I wasn't there. She then reportedly hung up the phone. But if a couple people can claim that you weren't at the club and these people were at the club, and you told police that you went to the club 90 minutes before, an hour and a half before they got there. What do y'all want me to do with that? I don't even need to read them. I don't know what's happening here. What is happening? Like, what is this? Some reenactment of the Shaggy song? It wasn't me. Remember that stupid song by Shaggy? It wasn't me. Where they were like, "Oh, hey, bro, she caught you on the camera," and he's like, "Oh, it wasn't me." She saw you right there blowing her back out. Oh, it wasn't me. What? Moving on, because I don't know what y'all want me to do with that. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with that. I literally have no idea. Not the Norm of the neighborhood from Cheers. Norm! And when everybody knows your name and they're willing to lie for you. What do y'all want me to do with that? Literally. All right. It's inevitable. It's about that time. It's almost that time. Y'all know what time it is? Do y'all know what time it is? Mm. If you have something sweet to eat, go ahead and crack open. Go ahead and crack open your snack. Please begin to regulate your sugar levels. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we know what time it is. Sugar spike, 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 sugar spike. Oh yes, it is time. Time for a sugar spike. It's that sugar. That sugar. Go ahead, get yourself ready. Regulate your sugar levels. Do all that you must do. because it's time for our sugar spikes. Now, oh, it's not Silly Saturday. I almost put up Silly Saturday. Praise God. All right, sugar spike time. So this story right here, I thought that I would use this as my first sugar spike moment. This is another story. This is so we can ease into our sugar spikes. Just ease into it. Oh. All right. I'm gonna read the headline like I always do. And we'll go from there. Here's the headline. Mm. Taylor Grant found guilty for shooting a man over Uno argument. And we're talking about that Uno. The same Uno that you learned to play in third grade, that Uno. Hmm. The draw four kind of Uno. Hey, Tracy. Hmm. That Uno. Exactly, Anton. Exactly. Let me read the headline again. Taylor Grant found guilty for shooting a man over Uno argument. Now I'm looking at this picture of this man, right? He probably got hit with the, you know, when you played when you could lay the card on top of the other card, you know, if somebody give you a draw four, you could hit somebody else. You could put your draw four on top of that person's draw four. You keep going. He probably got hit when he was playing with a whole group of people and had to draw like 16 or 20 or some dumb shit like that. Child. Anton, Tracy's used to it. Tracy is a regular over here. Tracy is tried and true. She knows exactly what she gets when she comes over here. Tracy know the routine. She know what it gives her. Tracy is one of my loyal subbies. She knows what we have it up. Listen, she's a Tracy is a member. She knows what we gives over here. Anton, listen, we have a lot of fun over here, Anton. You got to come and join the party. We have a lot of fun over here. Anton, you look like now based on your name, I know you black. I'm not gonna ask you is you black because I ain't never met a white man named Anton. I'm not saying it ain't none, but all the Antons I know is black, so I'm not gonna even ask you if you black or not. But I am gonna ask Anton. You remember the Rainbow Coalition? Um, Anton, you ain't even got to worry about that. I never ask people to like, share, or subscribe. I never ask people for that. We just do what we do over here. Are you a part of the Rainbow Coalition, Anton? If you're not, we have members, people that are not a part of the Rainbow Coalition as well. We have our whole heterosexual men here, our Rainbow Coalition men here. We have our heterosexual women here. We have our Rainbow Coalition women here. So I just need to. If you don't want to tell me, you ain't got to tell me nothing. That's your business. I don't need to know if you don't want to tell us if you're a part of the Rainbow Coalition or not. Oh, you're a part of the Rainbow Coalition? Yes. Come on now. Wow. Yeah. Hey, Anton Boo. Child. So now when I see your name, I don't feel bad for thinking in living color. I'm Blaine Edwards, and I'm Anton Merriweather, and welcome to Bid on Films. Yes, God. Yes, Power Bottom. Yes, sis. That's my sis right there. Hey, boo. Yes. Ow. Child, I'll have to ask some people no more. It did damn near kill me, Tracy. Dear God. Then my best friend comes out and tells me when I called him yesterday, you know what? Had you really only did it on one video, I probably would have gave you credit for it because I know how hard it is for you to do it on one video. So he said, I probably would have been okay if you would have just did it on one video and I would have been good. But I didn't want to tell you that because I wanted to see you keep squirming and doing it over and over. I was like, I can't stand you, you rat bastard. I can't stand him. But that's how my friends do me. Anyway, let me get back to said story. Now, Taylor Grant is a black man, okay? He black, okay? He ain't ugly. He a little balding at the top, but he ain't ugly. You know, he ain't ugly. I ain't gonna call him. All right. He could be cleaned up. He could be cleaned up. Okay. Anyway, let me read this story. Uno is a serious game. If this was spades, he might have shot the man in the head. Now that's true. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I'm reading the article. I've seen people get shot over a spades game. I have literally seen somebody get shot over a spades game. That's not exaggeration. That is not hyperbole. I've seen it. Police were called. By the time the police got there, the guy was gone that shot him. But I done seen somebody get shot over a spade game. I'm just telling you what I know. Now I don't know how true this article is because I ain't never played Uno like this, but I'm gonna read this article, okay? And I'm gonna tell y'all what I know. Y'all tell me, Bidwist too. Bidwist is the same way. Listen, card games is serious in the black community, but I didn't know Uno was that serious because I would have been shot a long time ago. Because I've never played a game of Uno that I have not cheated on. Please be clear. If you sit down and play Uno with me, I am going to cheat. You just have to know that up front. I'm going to find a way to cheat. You might not ever realize or figure out how I've cheated, but I've never played a hand of Uno and not cheated. Now I'm not going to cheat on spades or bit whist, but Uno, baby. Oh, it goes down. We cheat with a purpose on Uno. Please be clear, girl, girl, girl. It's Uno. It's not that serious. Girl, why you just press over Uno? Uno? Oh, Tracy, I was gonna repost some of my palette cleansers from Saturday. Just know before you came, the people said they didn't need no palette cleanser. I said put the 27 in the chat if you need a palette cleanser because we were just talking about a whole bunch of stuff and I ain't have no new ones. I said I could put up the ones from Saturday. Nobody put a 27, so that's why I'm not putting up any palette cleansers from um Saturday. Don't blame me, Tracy. Blame the people in the chat. Child. Please, Anton, please understand. I cheat on every game of Uno. I don't play around. Bitch, what you looking at? You looking at the wrong thing. Look at over here. Yeah. Don't get mad at me, Tracy. Do not get mad at me. You get mad at the people in the chat. Don't get mad at me. Okay? Let me read this story so I can get through this and we can have a good time. All right. It says the aim of the game is to be the first player to score 500, achieved usually over several rounds of play by being the first to play all of one's cards and scoring points for the cards still held by the other players. Now, I've never played Uno like that. When I play Uno, you don't count the cards by the other player. I've never known about this counting the points that the other people have, and you add them up and get them to the person who went out first. I ain't never played like that. All I know is you go out. The first person to go out, and you keep playing until it's Just two people going, and whoever lose that hand, they out the game. They don't play no more. They just got to sit on the sidelines and watch. And then we keep playing until we get down to the last two players, and they play it off. Is that not how y'all play? Because I don't know nothing about this adding up points and all of this bullshit. That's some white people Uno shit. Because all of the black people who I know that play Uno ain't never played like this. Do y'all need to explain? Do I need to go back and reread the rules for Uno? Because I ain't never known this to be a part of the Unos. I'm just saying. Let me keep going. They going all into the details. I don't care about the details of how to play Uno. Let me keep it moving. Let me keep it moving. Because they go into the details of how to play Uno. I don't need to read these white people version of Uno. Okay? I am black. We play Uno like we play Uno. Fuck all this other dumb shit. We know how to play Uno. Let me get down to this story. There was obviously a problem with the draw four that made Taylor Grant bring out the heater. A Cobb County, because of course this is in the great city of Atlanta. Because grown ass men, let's be clear, real grown ass men ain't around here playing Uno. You might play space a bit with, but real grown ass, I hate to stereotype things, but in my lifetime, I've never met a grown ass heterosexual man that is around here playing Uno. You know who play Uno? The girls might play Uno. And when I say the girls, these are the girls with fallopian tubes. Okay? The girls might sit around and play some good Uno. But grown ass men, cisgendered heterosexual grown ass men, I ain't never met one around here talking about, oh, I'm going to play this good Uno game. I'm just saying. Ladies, let me know if you out here dating men that play Uno in their spare time. I just want to know. Moving on, this happened in Atlanta. Let me keep reading. A Cobb County jury has found a man guilty after authorities say he shot another man during a fight over a game of Uno. On April 28th, a jury found 34-year-old Taylor Grant guilty of aggravated assault and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Officials say Grant's charges stem from a shooting on December 13th, 2020 at a house party in Marietta. According to investigators, as the group played Uno, Grant and his 37-year-old victim began arguing. During the argument, officials say Grant shot the man in the arm and stood over him while threatening to kill him. Baby, listen, over a Uno game? Let me help y'all understand. It's nothing more to read for this article. That's all we need. Let me help y'all understand something, okay? Let me help y'all. Let me play this. Y'all know I'm good for reenacting how this really happened, okay? Really reenacting what really happened and what really shook down. I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Here's what really happened. We can deduce and surmise what really happened, okay? Before said Uno game, Taylor Grant 34 and victim 37. Either one were dating or talking. You know how the girls say we talking, or they were dating each other and went to said party. During this game of Uno, because when you play Uno, you don't sit there and be concentrating real hard like you got to be silent. It's fucking Uno. So when you play Uno, you drinking, you shooting the shit, you talking shit, and spilling tea while you playing the good Uno. Okay. Mama heard something about the dude who she came there with that she was either talking to or dating, that someone else said, that confirmed that her and that other person were probably, that her and the other person had sex. So Taylor Grant is sitting there playing these motherfucking Unos. Taylor Grant saying, here's something in the conversation where another bitch be like, mm-hmm. Let's say the other person, the person Taylor Grant was dating or talking to, is named Joe Blow. So random person at the table is like, yeah, Joe Blow. Remember that time when you blew my back out and you dicked me down and I sucked your dick from the back and then I fucked you afterwards? And Taylor Grant hears this and says, What? And then random person says, yeah, because random person like, no, Joe Blow and Taylor Grant was dating. So random person says, yeah, because we did that last month. Because he was like, yeah, remember last month when you came over and blew my back out? Girl, that shit was good as fuck. Can you come back over? And so Taylor Grant is looking like, wait a minute. Bitch, we've been dating 6 months. How the fuck this bitch got his back blown out by you 6 months ago? Let me take that back. Oh, I'm gonna take it back. I got the story wrong. Taylor Grant is a bottom. Joe Blow, who he shot, is allegedly a top. And ex random person is telling Taylor Grant's boyfriend or the person he's talking to, Joe Blow, that yeah, let me come blow your back out again, like I did last month. So we got the double cut. You got the double cut, triple cut, the cut of them cheating, right? The cut that the person cheating is sitting here in front of you describing the fact that your man is cheating on you. And then the third cut of the fact that your man who told you he was a straight top done got fucked by this dude who's probably a femme queen, done blew his back out. And you sitting questioning yourself, Taylor Grant, like, wait a minute, I like this dude fucked me because he told me he was a straight top. And now I found out not only is he not a top, he getting fucked by femme dudes and cheating on me. And so what happens is Joe Blow hits Taylor Grant with this motherfucking draw four, and Taylor Grant says, I know you the fuck lie. Draw these motherfucking four. Bam! And shoots him and say, bitch, say something else and I'll blow your brains out. That's how that went. I'm just telling you what I know. I'm never wrong about these things. Never wrong. All right. I got one more story and then we're going to get to the piece de resistance. So I thought that y'all might like to hear. Well, I got two more stories. Then we're going to get to Roe v. Wade, okay? So here's a story that I think you would love to hear. As I take my candy out. Now, I don't usually get into the true crime story, but I read this one. I said, I got to bring this to my people. Hmm. Let me read this story for y'all. It's a mess. This is the headline. Dead body of Lacey Ellen Fletcher found melted into sofa at her parents' house. I did say melted with an M. Let y'all digest that while I eat another piece of candy. Hey, Miss Baythang. Let me read this article. Parents of the late Lacey Ellen Fletcher may face charges after her dead body was found melted into a sofa in their home. According to local officials, it's, quote, one of the worst cases of neglect in recent memory, end quote. It's a mess, y'all. It's a mess. Diamond Pearl Jam. I'm just reading what is brought before me. What do you want from me? I'm just reading what is brought before me. Let me read this for you, Diamond Pearl Jam. According to records, the late Lacey Ellen Fletcher was supposed to have been under the care of her parents, Sheila and Clay Fletcher, largely because she suffered from a condition that impaired her ability to communicate or move, called locked in syndrome. Instead, the couple allegedly allowed their daughter to waste away on their couch until she stopped breathing on January 3rd. The tragic incident is said to have happened sometime within 48 hours of an emergency phone call that the victim's parents made to 911. When the coroner and police officers arrived on the scene in East Feliciana Parish, Louisiana, they were gravely taken aback by what they saw and the stench that flooded their nostrils. Here's what the coroner, Dr. Dr. Ewell Bickums, had to say when he walked into the house. When I first walked in, quote, when I first walked in the house, it smelled of feces, fecal material. However you want to put that politely, it stunk. And when I got to the body, the individual was basically sitting in a hole filled with liquid stool and urine, end quote. According to Dr. Bickham, the victim weighed just 96 pounds as she had been medically neglected by both of her parents for at least a decade prior to the shocking discovery at the Fletcher residence. Following an extensive autopsy, the Jefferson Parish Forensic Center ruled Lacey's death a homicide. Her parents have not been arrested or charged with any crimes as of yet, but District Attorney Sam D'Aquila is calling for a grand jury to strongly consider a second-degree murder charge regarding the treatment of their daughter. Therefore, a grand jury is expected to make a decision sometime today on whether or not Lacey's parents will be charged with manslaughter, cruelty to the infirmed, second-degree murder, homicide, or none of the above. There is a video. I'm not going to show the video, but there is a video. Of course, you know they white. You know they're this and not this. They are this and not this. This. This is what the parents and Lacey is. They're not this. Okay? So, my point is this. Had they been this, had Lacey and her parents been this, oh, them parents would have already been under the jail. They found the girl sitting in a hole filled with urine and liquid fecal matter after what they surmised was a decade, not 10 minutes, not 10 days, not 10 months, but 10 years at least of neglect. Can you imagine the physical harm and torture that that lady had to deal with for 10 years? Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely horrifying. This is what y'all have to deal with. I don't even get into the true crime stories, but that was a bit much even for me. They said that her skin had melted into the furniture. That's how long it had been before they had moved her. A mess. I don't care what y'all say. We need a palate cleanser. Who I'm gonna have for my palate cleanser? Okay, there's my palate cleanser. That came from Saturday. Because I need a palate cleanser. Here's another one of the same young man. Praise God. We need a palate cleanser. After that story, praise God, we need a palate cleanser. Dear God, we'll have brand new palate cleansers on Saturday, on Silly Saturday. But we need something. Praise God for that thing that's sitting right there on the middle bar of that bicycle. Dear God. Anyway, we're here. Mm. All right. Sure. Where am I? All right. So I got one more story, and then we'll go to Roe v. Wade. Allegedly, Apple, yes, that Apple, the one that y'all swear by their phones. I don't have an Apple phone. I do have an Apple laptop, a Mac workbook that Mac workbook Pro, excuse me, that I get for work. But that's because I'm forced to get it. It ain't because I want anything Apple. Anyway, employees accuse Apple of racism amidst return to the office. A group of Apple employees wrote a letter to CEO Tim Cook accusing the company's return to office of being racist, per, per the Daily Mail. They petitioned for a hybrid work schedule allowing them in office 3 days a week and said the push for in-person work is really to make the company, quote, younger, whiter, and male dominated. I'm Team Android as well, but whatever. According to Apple's latest inclusion and diversity report, the employees are 65% male and 35% female. The majority are white by 43%, and 9% of the employees are black. We don't care about the rest of them. The employees who call themselves Apple Together wrote that the move to in-person work furthered the disparities in the company and will, quote, lead to privileges deciding who can work for Apple, end quote, instead of who'd be the best fit. Here's more from the open letter. It goes on to say Apple will likely always find people willing to work here, but our current policies requiring everyone to relocate to the office their team happens to be based in and being in the office at least 3 fixed days of the week will change the makeup of our workforce. It will make Apple younger, whiter, more male dominated, more neuronormative, more able bodied. In short, it will lead to privileges deciding who can work for Apple, not who'd be the best fit. Privileges like, quote, being born in the right place so you don't have to relocate, or, quote, being young enough to start a new life in a new city or country, end quote, or, quote, having a stay at home spouse who will move with you, end quote, and privileges like being born into a gender that society doesn't expect the majority of care work from. So it's easy to disappear into an office all day without doing your fair share of unpaid work in society, or being rich to pay others to do your care work for you. Wow, that's a lot. Hey, Gigi. This is only the latest concern of worker discrimination. The company also has pending complaints filed by former employees Cher Scarlett and Janaki Parrish, who previously accused the company of racism and discrimination. Apple Together urged the company, Apple Together, that's the group of Apple employees. Hey, Gigi. Urged the company to consider creating a work environment where everyone is able to work, which includes location flexibility. The point is to give people a choice. Quote, here we are, the smart people that you hired, and we are telling you what to do. Please get out of our way. Please get out of our way. There is no one size fits all solution. Let us decide how we work best and let us do the best work of our lives, end quote, read the open letter. So what we got here is the disparity in what a lot of tech companies have going on. Remember, you have Silicon Valley over there, the Bay Area, San Francisco, California, which the living costs in those areas are astronomical. Astronomical. And so you have to be of a certain tax bracket, or of a certain living wage in order to be able to stay there. And so there are a lot of people who are saying to them, a lot of diverse people, be they women, be they black or brown people or other people, marginalized people, LGBTQIA, people that may have disabilities and so forth, who are saying, we've been working from home during this whole goddamn pandemic. And during the goddamn pandemic, y'all made money, y'all made profits. The productivity of your workers did not decline. Rather, there are most studies have shown that the productivity of the workers in most major Fortune 500 companies went up during the pandemic, which proves that there was no need to be forcing people back into work. And so what these people are saying is, by forcing us, and they're not only forcing them back in the office, but they're forcing them back into the office to which they are, a lot of places are headquarters or their team, meaning, and when I say team, in a lot of places, that's where the supervisors or the managers of said teams are located, which in a lot of times are in places that are just too expensive for the average person to live and have a family. So we're talking about the San Franciscos of the world, where it's astronomical prices. Another area where a lot of tech companies have relocated, and the housing market and the 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 wage, I should say, disparity there has widened, is Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas has become a pseudo hub for a lot of tech companies. It is Silicon Valley light. And a lot of companies from the Bay Area have relocated to Austin, Texas, because because the state of Texas does not have income taxes like the state of California. So in order to save the company money that they have to pay out through income taxes, they want to save a dollar or a billion by relocating to places like Austin, Texas, which sounds good at first, but when you have all of these tech companies moving there, the cost of living skyrockets. And that's what has happened in that area. And so now people who were born and raised in Austin, Texas before these tech companies moved there can't even afford to live there anymore because the cost of living has skyrocketed. In addition, I totally understand what they're saying when they talk about it being whiter and younger and more male. Because when you talk about the average salaries, young white males end up having the highest salaries of anyone entering a workforce than anyone else. If you are a young white male leaving college, entering into the workforce in an entry level career, your average salary for them is close to $20,000 to $25,000 higher than other um, demographic groups. It is what it is, and so they have every right to cry discrimination and so forth and racism because if you had the if you had increased productivity during the pandemic when people were working at home, why are you forcing people back into the workplace? Because you want to do exactly what they said: get whiter and get more male and younger. So that's age discrimination. That's discrimination against the infirm. That's discrimination against race, certain races. That's sex discrimination. There's so many different levels that Apple doesn't want to go down that road. We're going to monitor this and see what happens, but Apple is tries to paint itself as one of these progressive companies, and they want no parts of what is coming out of the. They don't want to become a Tesla. I'll say like that because Tesla is losing lawsuits left and right for all of their racism and discrimination, and young white men have shown us in the last few years that they are more racist than their fathers. They are just as racist as their grandfathers and great grandfathers, and more racist than their own fathers. I'm just telling you what I know. The Generation Z, white men are more racist than their fathers and are either par with their grandfathers or par with their great grandfathers. They got that level of racism going on. So, one more palette cleanser before we get to our feature presentation of the day. Let me see. Who do I want to see? Oh, I like him. He was cute. I look at him. He was cute. He was cute too. And him. And hell, why not that one too? Anton, we do this all the time. Anton, you must never have been here for a sexy Sunday. Watch this. A Twitter version of Sexy Sunday where it's peens and peens and peens sprawled all over the place. hmm I mean, we just have peen all over the place on a Sexy Sunday. Talk to my people in the chat. They'll bring you up to speed and tell them what we have going on over here. Mm. Praise God, from whom our blessings flow. So we found out last night we found out that this is happening. We found out that everything I've been screaming about for the last year and a half to 2 years has finally come to fruition. Now, those people who've been following me all this time cannot say that they did not know this was going to happen. They can't claim that they were ill informed. They can't say that they didn't know what was coming down the pipeline because I've been screaming from the rooftops about all this. So we found out that the Supreme Court has indeed decided, listen, hey women, fuck you, fuck your rights, and fuck your fallopian tubes. We don't give a shit how you feel. We don't care if you die. We don't care if you've been raped. We don't care if you're a 12-year-old girl who just got on her period and who was raped by her father, her uncle, her older brother, or some other relative. We don't care about any of that. We don't care about how you feel. You cannot get an abortion. And let's be clear. White people in these yet to be United States of America don't give a shit about a person's rights. All of this song and dance and about, oh, citizens' rights and a person having a right to this and a person having a right to that, that only applies when said person is a white male, a Christian white male, a heterosexual Christian white male. If you don't fall into all four categories simultaneously, heterosexual Christian white male, they do not give a shit. Because remember, these are the same people screaming from the rafters. People needed to have a right to be able to choose whether or not they wanted to wear a mask. Because how can you take the right of a person to do whatever they want to do, the freedom and rights of people to kill themselves by catching COVID and spreading it to everybody around them? We need our rights, so we don't have to wear masks because we're preaching rights. But you want to take the rights of a living, breathing woman to protect what you believe is an unborn person. Yet, when said unborn child is born and pops out, you immediately don't give a shit about them. Because you don't give a shit about children's rights. You don't give, because what happens if that child is black or brown or LGBTQ when they come out? You want no parts of them. You don't give a shit, which is why I said they don't give a shit about us citizens' rights or people's rights or the rights of a citizenry unless that person is Christian, heterosexual, white, and male. Let's be clear. If you are not any of the such, I'm going to read this quick article that tells you, and I like this article when I read it. It says five, because I did a video this morning breaking down a lot of stuff, but I want to read this article that tells you five takeaways from the leaked Supreme Court draft opinion. Five takeaways. Let me read this article. The revelation of a draft Supreme Court decision gutting United States abortion rights has stunned an entire nation, setting off protests, sending political leaders scrambling, and igniting public debates about both the form and substance of the leaked draft ruling. Chief Justice John Roberts has confirmed the authenticity of the opinion authored by Justice Samuel Alito and published Monday by Politico in a leak of a Supreme Court document that is unprecedented in recent history. The outlet reported that at least four of Alito's conservative colleagues, Justice Amy Coney Barrett, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Clarence Thomas, have joined him in forming a majority prepared to overturn the landmark 1973 decision in Roe v. Wade. If the leaked version becomes law, it would demolish the nationwide protections for reproductive rights that have been in place for nearly 50 years, opening the door for states to completely outlaw abortions. Here are the main takeaways on the draft opinion. One, the ruling could change before it's published. While the draft that became public this week has been confirmed to be authentic, it is still subject to change until it's officially published by the Supreme Court. Until then, justices can freely change sides, write concurrences or dissents, and alter the opinion that prematurely entered the light of day. As it currently stands, according to Politico, the three liberal judges are preparing one or more dissenting opinions. It is unclear whether Roberts intends to join them. The news outlet reported that the 5-3-1 divide has been in place since December. But it's unclear whether that will hold until the Supreme Court officially rules. Typically, the court doesn't release its most high-profile decisions until the very end of its term, usually by the end of June, in part to allow time for the justices to win over their colleagues on divisive rulings. While the window of time in which the court usually issues such decisions is fast approaching, there's little in Alito's opinion that can be taken as final until it's made official. Two, Democrats want legislation to enshrine abortion rights. Democrats have dreaded the end of Roe v. Wade as they watched Republicans solidify a conservative majority on the nation's highest court over the past few decades and then pushed it further to the right during former President Trump's term in office. Now that the day when GOP appointed justices upend the status quo for reproductive rights appears to be on the horizon, Democratic leaders calling for legislation that will codify Roe into law by establishing a federal right to abortions. If the court, quote, if the court does overturn Roe, it will fall on our nation's elected officials. That they go into what Biden said today, which basically was, if the court does indeed vote to do away with Roe v. Wade, he said that it's up to our elected officials to either vote to put a law in place from the legislature that would codify Roe v. Wade, or the citizenry to elect people who would do the same. Now, let's be clear. There has already been a bill that passed the House that is sitting on the desk of Chuck Schumer as the Senate Majority Leader. It already passed the House that will codify Roe v. Wade. The House already passed this. They're waiting on the Senate, who has several bills on its desk that need to be passed. And Chuck Schumer is bending the knee, in the immortal words of Game of Thrones, bending the knee to the will of fucktards like Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. I told y'all way back in November of 2020 that Joe Manchin would end up being the most powerful man in Washington. And we're here almost a year and a half later, and it still rings true today. We are a year and a half now. This makes a year and a half since November 2020. Fucking Joe Manchin is more powerful than Joe Biden. He's more powerful than Chuck Schumer. He's more powerful than Nancy Pelosi. He is the most powerful Democrat, certainly, in all of Washington. And arguably, since the Republicans are not in power, the most powerful politician in all of Washington. Let's be brutally honest and clear. And he has his henchman, that stupid ass whore bitch, Kirsten Sinema, who's also following along with him. Just a fucking mess. Let me keep reading. I'm only on the second point. Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer on Monday promised to call a vote on such legislation in the near future, calling the publication of the draft opinion a, quote, dark and disturbing morning for America, end quote. But any bill to enshrine abortion rights into law faces long odds with a slim Democratic majority in the Senate, which has failed to reach 50 votes to eliminate the filibuster, which requires a 60-vote majority to pass legislation. Number three, the GOP is calling for the leaker to be brought to justice. Meanwhile, the Republicans have responded to the groundbreaking news by focusing their attention on the unknown leaker, saying whoever it is has damaged the legitimacy of the Supreme Court. The GOP leaders on Tuesday called for an investigation into the leaker's identity, followed by criminal charges. Quote, the lawless action should be investigated and punished by the fullest extent of the law, the fullest extent possible, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said during a floor speech. If a crime was committed, the Department of Justice must pursue it completely, he went on to say. Roberts said Tuesday that he had directed the Supreme Court's marshal to investigate the, quote, singular and egregious breach, end quote, of the court's trust. Virtually nothing is known about the leaker's identity or motive, and it's unclear whether any crimes were committed in the process of turning over Alito's opinion to the press. But Republicans who largely support rolling back abortion rights have made clear that they will try to make the leak itself a focus of the outgoing cry. Number four, progressives call for action on courts and filibuster reform. Progressive judicial advocates and lawmakers are calling for decisive action from the Democratic Party following the opinion's publication, doubling down on their push to pack the court to nullify the conservative majority and eliminate the filibuster to protect abortion and other rights from being rolled back. A ruling that overturns Roe would likely add fuel to the court packing movement, which sees the concurrent conservative majority as illegitimate, unaccountable, and a threat to the legal rights that are supported by a majority of Americans. Quote, abolish the filibuster, codify Roe, expand the Supreme Court, protect abortion rights by any means necessary. We need all of the above. This is an emergency, end quote, Representative Cori Bush said in a tweet on Tuesday. You know we love us some Cori Bush. We are here for all parts of the squad. Representative Andy Levin of Michigan added in the statement, quote, without urgent and sweeping reform, we will never have true freedom and justice in this country. The Senate must abolish the filibuster and pass the Women's Health Protection Act to codify Roe immediately, and we must reform and expand the Supreme Court. While Democrats who support packing the court or abolishing the filibuster make up the majority of the party, their calls for reform are likely to grow louder and more urgent if the conservative justices abolish a right considered fundamental among the liberal base. And here's number five. The draft raises concern about the court's next target. Here's the part you need to pay attention to. The conservative majority's apparent willingness to overturn a landmark precedent despite popular opposition has also raised concerns about critics among critics about what other rights might be in jeopardy. In the draft, Alito stressed that abortion is the only issue that the majority is targeting in its reasoning. He wrote, quote, to ensure that our decision is not misunderstood or mischaracterized, we emphasize that our decision concerns the constitutional right to abortion and no other right. Nothing in this opinion should be understood to cast doubt on precedents that do not concern abortion. End quote. But that is unlikely to soothe critics who see court precedents such as the one legalizing same sex marriage as equally vulnerable because they establish rights that conservative justices might believe don't have, quote, any claim to being rooted in history, end quote, as Alito wrote in the abortion opinion. Some progressives said that overturning Roe would be a preview of what is to come from the conservative majority. And it goes on and on and on. I talked about this morning on my live this morning. Now that they have said that Roe v. Wade is not, they're not here for Roe v. Wade, gay marriage, that's easily next on the chopping block. Hello, LGBTQ. The only reason that being gay is not illegal in most states in this country is because of the Supreme Court ruling. I forgot it's gonna come to me later, but the exact ruling that said that that gives the public the right to privacy in the bedroom, and that Supreme Court ruling about privacy in the bedroom led to making it illegal for states to say that homosexuality was illegal because most states said homosexuality was illegal in said states. But when the Supreme Court said that citizens had right to privacy in their homes and in their bedrooms, that means that whatever they did in their bedroom was their own business, and that the United States did not have a right to infringe upon that as long as it was consenting adults. And so when you start, and there were rulings with regard to sex between consenting adults, and that is why it is illegal for states to say that homosexuality is illegal, because the Supreme Court ruled that because of the privacy of a citizen in their own home and in their own bedroom, you could not delve into that. If they're saying, and the whole basis and foundation of Roe v. Wade, thank you, Griswold versus Connecticut, thank you, Tracy. When Griswold versus Connecticut passed, Roe v. Wade is based on the Griswold versus Connecticut. So is the thing that homosexuality is legal in most states. And if they're questioning Griswold versus Connecticut and the privacy of citizens in their own homes and in their own bedroom, who's to say? That's just the one part, which means that you got Roe v. Wade going down, gay marriage going down, and in some states, homosexuality being illegal, which goes back to the sodomy laws. But here's the other can of worms. That's the Griswold versus Connecticut angle. When you go to the other angle, which is the angle that almost every Supreme Court justice and every iteration of the Supreme Court has held itself to this point, is predetermined law and precedent in the United States. Meaning, when the Supreme Court had made a law and set a precedent, the Supreme Court, I'm not going to say never, but they would support and say, the Supreme Court has already determined that said law is constitutional or unconstitutional, either way. And what ends up happening is that Supreme Court law ends up being upheld, and they don't touch it. They leave it alone, and they say, we're not going to bother that law because it's already been adjudicated on. But now that you've opened up the can of worms that Roe v. Wade is open, there's open season on a Roe v. Wade. What ends up happening is, who's to say other laws won't be reopened and other laws won't be back on the chopping block, like like I always say, like I said earlier, a Plessy versus Ferguson, like a Brown versus Board of Education. You've opened up the Pandora's box, and everything is back on the table now. Since you are now saying that precedent in the United States Supreme Court doesn't mean anything. A mess. A mess. A mess. Here we go. Where does it we are careening? I told y'all this morning, we are careening down this slippery slope. Now, here's another angle that I want to tackle. If you recall, let me sip on my drink. Y'all's girl, and not mine. Exactly. Anton, y'all girls and not mine. You know that young lady from the great. Where is she from? Is it Maine or is it Vermont? One of the two. One of them states up there. Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. One of them three up there, way up there. Susan Collins. If you recall, when Susan Collins when we had the confirmations of Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett, both of whom, in my estimation, have no business on anybody's bench anywhere in America and are unfit to serve as a judge and adjudicator anywhere on the globe, much less in these yet to be United States of America. But I move on. She supported these fucktards and ass clowns because she assured herself and she stood firm on the Roe v. Wade. I have no reason to believe, after speaking to them, that they would ever overturn Roe v. Wade, because they have assured me that Roe v. Wade is already set precedent within the Supreme Court of the United States, and they would not go about overturning precedent and laws that had already been established by the Supreme Court. Hey, Susan Collins. Here we are today. Let me read this article. Senator Susan Collins, Republican of Maine, there we go, said on Tuesday that a leaked Supreme Court draft ruling was, quote, completely inconsistent, end quote, with what Justices Brett Kavanaugh and Neil Gorsuch told her during their private conversations as Supreme Court nominees. She says, quote, if the leaked draft opinion is final decision and this reporting is accurate, it will be completely inconsistent with what Justice Gorsuch and Justice Kavanaugh said in their hearings and in our meetings in my office, end quote. Obviously, she then goes on to say, obviously, we won't know each justice's decision and reasoning until the Supreme Court officially announces its opinion in this case, end quote. She's hoping and praying that by some stretch of the imagination, those three justices that y'all former president number 45 put in place, that at least one of them is wrong. But we know that ain't the case. All three of them were put in place for a reason. They knew the assignment, they understood the assignment, and they stood firm on the assignment. Collins' statement comes after Politico published a draft decision from the Supreme Court authored by Justice Samuel Alito, overturning the landmark decision in Roe v. Wade that guarantees the right to an abortion. The draft ruling concludes by declaring that Roe and the court's 1992 decision in Planned Parenthood versus Casey have no grounding in the Constitution. The court is expected to issue an actual ruling in the case in the next 2 months. Politico, citing a source, said that fellow conservative Justice Clarence Thomas, as well as former President Trump's three nominees, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett, voted with Alito in conference. That immediately put a spotlight on Collins, a moderate vote who supported such Gorsuch, who supported both Gorsuch and Kavanaugh. When asked on Tuesday if she felt misled, Collins demurred, telling reporters that her quote statement speaks for itself. Collins, who was last reelected in 2020, defended her vote for Kavanaugh at the time of his confirmation, saying in 2018 that she didn't believe he could vote to overturn Roe. Quote, I do not believe Brett Kavanaugh will overturn Roe v. Wade, end quote, Collins told CNN's Dana Bash. She went on to add, quote, he noted that Roe had been affirmed 19 years later by Planned Parenthood versus Casey, and that it was precedent on precedent. He said should be extremely rare that it should be overturned. Well, I guess we're at a rare moment. You ain't shit, Susan Collins. Neil Gorsuch ain't shit. Brett Kavanaugh ain't shit. And Amy Coney Barrett ain't shit. And the four of you alike are not. Listen. The four of you alike have no reason to be in the positions that you are in right now. Susan Collins should not be in the United States Senate, and Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, nor should Amy Coney Barrett be sitting on the bench of the United States Supreme Court. None of them should be where they are. So why would I be surprised that someone who isn't worthy of the office to which she has, I should say, someone not qualified for the office to which she is sitting in, why would I feel like she would have any basis, backing, or grounds to be able to nominate somebody for the office of the Supreme Court? Why would I think she wouldn't nominate people who are not qualified for the Supreme Court to be there? People have been screaming for decades now that Supreme Court nominees shouldn't be a lifetime appointment, but they're not gonna do away with that. Oh no, they never do away with that. Not in our lifetime. You ain't gonna never see that go away. Not in our lifetime. Mm. The Democrats are playing nice with people who don't play nicely. What did I tell y'all in January of 2021, over a year ago now, almost a year and a half ago now, that the Democrats have better line the Supreme Court with 4 extra justices, because right now the Supreme Court and the entirety of the judiciary, the federal judiciary branch is lined with conservative justices that came from Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump. I said that. And I said, if the Democrats know anything, they had better line the Supreme Court with 4 extra liberal justices to swing it back the right way. Because you don't have a shot going through the circuits. All of the circuits are lined with judges that are conservative, and many of whom the American Bar Association have deemed are not even qualified to sit on the bench. Many of whom, there are people sitting in circuit court benches that had not tried a single case, that were fresh out of law school, but were simply people willing to do the bidding of the Republican conservative wing, whose fathers and grandfathers had lined the pockets of people in the Republican Party. And so they gravy trained these people into confirmations into the judiciary. So the circuits are lined. The last line of defense before sweeping laws come across this nation and that get vetoed or get talked down by this nation Supreme Court, The last line of defense was the Supreme Court. And that's gone. And you got fucking Joe Biden and Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi with one thumb up their ass and one thumb in their mouth, switching between the two, playing pussy and playing nice with people who don't want to play nicely. The people on the other side have told you what they mean. They don't mean you no good. They don't mean any good by the citizenry of this country. They don't want any parts of anything that doesn't mean that Christian heterosexual white men don't continue to have their supremacy across this nation. And you had stupid ass white women. Let me give y'all a piece of my mind of white women. Hold on. Hold on. Cause I feel myself. Hold on. Give me a moment, cause I don't want to lose my mind. Give me a second. Let me take a bite, cause I feel myself losing my mind on white women. Okay. So you got white women you got white women that are part of organizations like the Susan B. Anthony Project and Foundation and shit like that have been going door to door all over this country for the last 10 plus years, fighting to do away with a woman's right to abortion. You also have white women all across the fruited plains, from sea to shining sea, that will in one breath tell you that they are feminists and tell you that they are here for the rights of women and all human beings with fallopian tubes, and then in the next breath vote for a president who openly tells you that he violates women sexually, is unapologetic about it, and will not apologize for it, and will lie about it if called to the stand about it, but has no problem doing it again. Those same white women vote for that person, put them in office. They put an incompetent miscreant in the Oval Office. They vote him there. He then makes good on his promise, denigrates the entirety of the American democracy, goes further to appoint people who have outwardly said, I don't care about the rights of women. I don't think women need to have the right to do anything. Further, I don't care about the rights of people of color. I don't care about the rights of immigrants. I only care about the rights of white Christian heterosexual men. And then when he gets in office, these very same women want to have marches on Washington to protest the person who they voted in office. The same white fucking women who even more, and I'm going to say it and say it loud, if you go in the annals of American history, even more so than their white male counterparts, the death, the torture, lynchings, and all out genocide on Black people has been more so the result of fucking white women and their fucking weapon of choice, their tears, than it ever has been white men. I'm gonna just let that sit there. In the history of our species, I ain't even talking about the history of this country. In the history of our species, there have been more human beings murdered, butchered, slaughtered, and meeting their death at the because of white women than any other part of our species since the history of our species. They are responsible for more deaths than any other part of our species. They want to have it both ways. They want to at one point say, "Oh, I need a man that's going to be in power, a white man that's going to be the savior of us." And then in the next breath, now you want to tell me that you got a problem because the same said white man who you told to go over there, who you knew was going to do such and such, you put him in power. And now when he says fuck you and fuck your life, now all of a sudden you got a problem with it. No, I'm not trying to hear you from here on out. Fuck you and fuck your life. When you had a chance, white women, to vote for your own people. See, y'all can say what y'all want to say about us black people, but us black people, we see one of ours up there, we vote for our own. We are here for it, and sometimes it's to our own demise. But when we see ours, we say, I got you, bruh. I got you, sis. I'm here for you. I'm going to vote for you. But you stupid ass whores, I'm going all the way back to 2016. Let's take it on back. Let's bring it on down to 2016. And I'm just a precursor right now because my girl Tabitha, who's in the chat, shout out to Tabitha. If y'all are not subscribed to Tabitha Speaks TV, y'all need to go subscribe to her, okay? She about to take up the mantle at 7 o'clock. She's going to go live, and I'm going to pitch it right on over to her so she can drag white women just like I will. Mm. These same said white women who are the banner wearers of the Susan B. Anthony's of the world and the Grimke sisters and all of the other suffragists that were carrying the banner of women's rights and oh my God, we are here and we are feminists and we are here. When you were offered the opportunity, you stupid ass whores, to vote a white woman into office, you believed in your infinite wisdom that you were more concerned that she had a separate hard drive for her emails because you believe that there were nefarious emails in said hard drive that when they did investigate, it was really no nefarious emails and they went through countless hundreds of thousands, damn near millions of emails and didn't really find shit in there. But y'all were so concerned about fucking emails that you allowed an admitted sexual fucking deviant, a proven bigot and racist who was convicted in courts of racism and discrimination against Black people. See, y'all are just like those people who y'all carry the banners for, the Grimke sisters and the Susan B. Anthony's of the world and stuff like that, where y'all don't see the forest through the trees. Y'all can't get outside of your own self because white women have been stupid as fuck since the beginning of time. You stupid ass whores. I don't give a shit. White women have been stupid since the beginning of time. Going back to the Susan B. Anthony's of the world and all them other ones. Because just like they decided that they were more concerned about the rights of white women than they were about Black people, and were openly, I ain't gonna even say privately or secretly racist, but were openly just as racist in their ideologies as they were feminists. Y'all are the same way. Y'all will vote people in power just to submit your white supremacy, not knowing in the cementing of that white supremacy does not include white women. I'm going to say that again. White supremacy does not include white women. When are you white women going to wake up? Because the truth behind white supremacy means you have to fall into the 4 categories: Christian, homosexual, white, and male. And see, y'all forgot about that last one, male. You don't fall into that category. The fact that you have fallopian tubes removes you from that whole conversation. But y'all was concerned about emails. It was the emails, right? Where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the line? Because please be clear. Let me hip you to the game. The United States Census, if you go look to the census, says that there are more women in the country than there are men. By a small margin, but there are still more women than men. Right? If and when white men feel like you white women are doing too much and going to do anything that's going to um, be a problem for them and their white supremacy, do you not think and believe that they would snatch your rights away from you, just like they did black? That's just like, I should say, they're doing Black people, brown people, and other marginalized people. Do you not think that they won't do it to you? Because y'all were okay. White women were okay. As long as the white men were bothering the Black people, that's for the Blacks. That's not our problem. That's for the Blacks. Let them deal with it. That ain't our problem. Oh, that's for the rainbow people, the rainbow coalition. That's not our issue. That's not our problem. Let them deal with it. Oh, that's for the Latino and Hispanic community. That's not our problem. Let them go and do what they have to do. Oh, but now it's you all, and now y'all got a problem. No, no, bitch, you can't have it both ways. You should have had a problem before, but they told you point blank from the beginning what they was gonna do. They didn't sugarcoat anything. They didn't lie to you. They didn't try to make you feel like they were gonna do anything else. They were very clear on what was gonna happen. But you whores didn't care as long as it didn't involve y'all. You whores said to yourselves, long as it don't affect me. You know how the old acronym goes, NIMBY, NIMBY, not in my backyard. As long as it's not in my backyard, NIMBY, I don't give a shit. Well, boo boo, it's in your backyard. Don't look for us to come around windmilling for y'all. Don't look for. I'm not. I'm not willing to milling for y'all. I don't give a shit about you. I have no. I'm a black, same gender loving man who wants no part. I don't even want no parts of white peen. So what the fuck use do I have with white women? I have no use for you. I have no sympathy for you. I have no empathy for you. And the fact that I know that over and over and over, year after year after year, election cycle after election cycle after election cycle, you are voting against my best interest. Why should I care about what you got going on? Hell, you idiots vote against your own best interest. Why would I want to align with people who vote against their own best interest? Like it's stupid. Oh, Tracy, they are absolutely coming for Loving versus Virginia. Interracial marriage, Loving versus Virginia. Oh, that's already out there. They're going for same-sex marriage. They're going for interracial marriage, Loving versus Virginia. They're going for all of it. Hmm. So if I gotta suffer, don't misery loves company. Y'all will be right over here suffering with us. Hmm. You might as well keep the same energy. 'Cause that's how I'm looking at y'all like, what do you want from me? Keep the same energy. I'm telling y'all, this is going to get worse before it gets better. We are already careening down the slippery slope. We are careening down the slippery slope. Anyway, y'all have anything else for me? Because I'm done with that. I'm trying not to slide down the rabbit hole. Oh, they're going after contraceptives. They're going. Everything's on the table at this point. I told you, everything is on the table at this point. Nobody is safe. Nobody and nothing is safe, except for the unless you fall into the four categories simultaneously: Christian, heterosexual, white, male. If you don't have all four categories, there was a small protest in ATL today by these same white women. Listen, to the people in positions of power, Atlanta might as well be Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, Atlanta might as well be Sodom and Gomorrah for them. It ain't a single thing about Atlanta that has a redeeming quality for these people. It's a black city. It got a whole bunch of gay people in it. That's enough right there for them to burn it to the ground. It's Sodom and Gomorrah for them. That's why they put the Centers for Disease Control headquartered here because they think you people are not normal and you're disease filled. I'm just saying. Anyway, child, a mess. A mess. Anyway, I didn't even realize we've been on here over 2 hours now, y'all. I'm about to get up off here. Hmm. I see all the rice colored people posting pro life BS and I want to punch them all in the face. I'm just saying. Like you want to punch them in the I don't want to punch them in the face. I want to punch them in the throat. Because a good throat punch goes a long way. Please be clear. Centuries of colonizers making poor decisions too. It is. It's just. I just want to punch them, not in the face, in the throat, right in the throat. Because a good throat punch goes a long way. Goes a long way. A long way. Anyway, I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. I've been on here 2+ hours. If you missed the beginning, go ahead and rewind back to the beginning. We started off talking about penises hanging for people's arms. Dear God, women leaving their children sleeping on a sidewalk while they was in the club, busting it down. Just a mess. Miss Bathan, you know how we do over here. We always speak the real. Anyway, can I get some Shondos in the chat before I get out here? Shondos in the chat before we get out here, please. I've been on here a while. I'm about to get out of here. I'm gonna be back later this week, maybe tomorrow. I know tomorrow we plan to be live at Teacher Project 2.0, so look out for that. Um, we'll be live at Teacher Project 2.0 tomorrow, and probably Thursday as well. As this Teacher Appreciation Week. Um, somewhere in between, I'll be live. I enjoyed going live early this morning. I might go live again early, another morning this week. Y'all look out for that, because I enjoyed going live early this morning before I went to work. So if something else comes up, I might go live early this morning, early in the morning again. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all. As I always say, thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged. They're much appreciated. Y'all know I love y'all. I love on y'all. Okay. Keep doing what y'all do. Thank y'all for everything that y'all do over there for and with me. I'm here for y'all. Y'all are here for me, and we're here together. That's all I got for y'all. I think Tabitha says she already went live, but she may go live again. And say I thought she had a live plan for 7. Even if she don't, y'all go over to her channel and subscribe to her. Okay. That's all I got for y'all. Until next time. Thank you all for coming. Y'all drive safely and